Hello Figgy Fiends and Collectors, this is me, Daniel East 1000, back again with another Star Wars The Black Series figure review. Today we're going to be having a look at a highly anticipated multi-pack. I unfortunately missed the boat initially when this was put up for pre-order on Hasbro Pulse. However, they did say that at some point it would go on to Disney Store, Shop Disney, but no real date was given on that. And until recently, some sites stipulated when it would be available, just because it coincided with some other Clone Wars or Commander Gree related items that were going to go live on Disney Store. Naturally, date was there. I went to check on it on that date, and alas, it was intended for US collectors rather than UK. So I kept checking almost every morning and in the evening, religiously almost, because I didn't want to miss out on this multi-figure pack. And luckily, just the end of last week, it went up for order. Put my request in, and here we have it in hand today so I can review it for you. And I'm so hyped to show off the Star Wars The Black Series Yoda and Commander Gree Clones of the Republic multi-figure pack. This is absolutely awesome. I will say good luck trying to get your hands on it, just because at present it's sold out again on Disney Store, and it's sold out incredibly quickly, literally in the day that it was posted. So I'm really pleased to have this in my collection, and we're going to have a proper look at it. But as always, we're going to take a look at the packaging first, of which is in the previous packaging style with the bevel edges. Gree that side and Yoda this side. We've got the window style packaging there. There's no backdrop, sadly. That's not a biggie. You've got Star Wars The Black Series at the top. Star Wars Clones of the Republic. This is number 2, as they did release previously a multi-figure pack consisting of Mace Windu and the insert Clone Legion number here, Clone Trooper. I know that particular clone was part of, in original canon, Mace Windu's Legion. However, the more recent Clone Wars TV series has somewhat retconned this, and Mace Windu's Clone Troopers are the more terracotta coloured ones. And yeah, that pack was sort of met with some controversy from certain fans who are very passionate about Clone Troopers. And well, the same's actually with this one in terms of Commander Gree, and we will touch base on that a little bit. I will admit I am not the biggest clone nut out there, so if anyone wants to correct me, by all means do so. Much appreciated as well if you do. Anyways, lovely packaging. You got the window there, like I said, you can see the figures, name tab there of the characters, bit of legal MacGuffle, and then as I showed, you've got a lovely picture of Yoda just there, his name, and of course that blue bleeds around. Likewise with Commander Gree on the side, and Commander Gree. And then on the back, you've got a bit of a bio on the two characters. Lovely imagery of the two characters as well. You also have the number, which is 2, and Clones of the Republic name tab, and a ton of legal garb at the bottom there, and at the bottom there as well. Nothing going on at the top, and that is the packaging pretty much out the way and done with. So now let's take a look at the figgies themselves.
Very well, Count Lieutenant.
The droids have started up their main power generators.
Then now the time is, Commander.
Yes, sir.
So here we have the figures in hand, and I have to say this is a really cool and interesting multi-figure pack. We'll start off with looking at really the least newest figure in the set, and that is Commander Gree. He's a Clone Trooper. There's not really too much to run home about this guy. However, there is some real points of interest, namely in the armour coloration that Hasbro chose with it. This is based on his Clone Wars comic book appearance rather than how we see him in Revenge of the Sith, because we have previously received a Commander Gree in Revenge of the Sith colours. Granted, it would be nice to get an update on that one because it is slightly janky compared to today's standard. So there's been a little bit of I wouldn't say outcry, but a bit of demand questioning why they didn't just do the camo Commander Gree. I'm personally cool with this, although I think Hasbro could have really gone the extra mile with it. Namely in the fact that, yes, this is the Phase 2 look of Commander Gree, but why couldn't they have included the Phase 1 helmet? Naturally, to do a Phase 1 Commander Gree as well, they would need to include a sort of bandolier going around his armour, and also he does have a holster for a small little blaster pistol. And to go the even extra mile, to make the helmet removable and have the double mohawked Commander Gree that we see in the Clone Wars. This bucket ain't coming off, it is glued on to the head that's in there. If they'd included those little additional details to make it a Phase 1 version, hook, line and sinker, that would have just been a real nice cherry on the cake to this multi-figure pack. And I think it might have softened the blow for some fans who do get a little bit antsy about the clone troopers. And no, I'm sure even with that suggestion on my part, people would be antsy about it because there'd be something inaccurate from the two clone costumes. But nonetheless, that's just what I would have liked to have seen. That's not to detract from what a lovely clone trooper this boy is. It does use the new clone sculpt, I believe. Again, I'm not the biggest clone nut, so I'm not fully up to date with all the variants and changes and things they've done, but he looks bloody lovely, and that's the main thing that I care about when it comes to clone troopers. All the articulation's there, so you can get some really good poses. The green paint application on his armour as well is really crisp, really nice. He does come with two weapons in the form of this long rifle here, and he also comes with the small blaster pistol. Although, for me and my mileage and a bit of nostalgia, would have been nice if it came with, of course, the Phase 1 helmet, the holster, the little blaster pistol, and also if they included a rocket launcher with him. Just a little nod to the 3 3/4 inch Commander Gree that was released for the Clone Wars line. But that's just me. Maybe I'm asking for a little bit too much. There we go. That's Phase 2 Commander Gree. Comic book version, as we'll dub it. And he looks absolutely lovely. In terms of his articulation, he has a ball joint in the head, a ball joint in the neck, butterfly joints in the shoulders, ball joints in the shoulders as well, ball jointed elbows, ball jointed wrists, ball jointed torso, ball jointed hips. He also has swivels at the tops of the thighs, ball jointed knees, ball jointed ankles with the rocker joints. Yeah, what more could you really want in terms of articulation wise from this guy? You can get him in some really, really good poses, as to be expected, because it is, you know, the same clone sculpt that we've had, I'm pretty sure, previously. That's Commander Gree. Nothing too new to ring home about, but there is a tiny bit of controversy with him in terms of the version that they've released in this multi-figure pack. But moving swiftly on to the main reason why I spent the obscene amount of money for this 2-pack, and that is for this little fella here. Easily competitor for Star Wars The Black Series FIGGIE of the Year. I kid you not. What an amazing sculpt on this Yoda. They nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. We have had Yodas before. They've been oversized. They've been a little bit janky. But this one, in terms of a prequel era Yoda, because this is our first prequel era Yoda, is absolutely bob on. I am super duper impressed with him. The amount of accessories particularly really does add to the value of him, because this set is a little bit spenny. £50-55 for this at retail, and yeah, when you have these two figures put together, it's a bit like, oh, where's the value for money? But bear with, we'll get into the accessories with Yoda, because I do think it does warrant the price point. It's just a hair over the finish line, but it just makes it kind of worth it. But looking at the head sculpt on that Yoda is just stunning. I love the paint application, the sculpt, even the hair detail is just incredible. The expression is lovely as well. In terms of the figure body, there's so much articulation packed into this guy, which is really impressive considering how diminutive he is. The fact that he holds on to his accessories really well is something to be noted and applauded as well to Hasbro. Look how teeny tiny those fingers are. Yeah, I'm super pleased with this. And the soft goods as well. The soft goods, again, Hasbro hitting the ball out of the park in terms of their soft goods game. This sits really, really nicely on the figure. It's not too baggy. Of course, I've got him holding his lightsaber. He even comes with his little walking stick. Now, in terms of the lightsaber, the blade is actually attached to the hilt. You can't remove the hilt from the blade. However, there is an additional accessory so that you can have a more vanilla displayed Yoda where it is just him holding the lightsaber hilt. So he comes packed with an individual lightsaber hilt. It is teeny tiny, very, very small. Just be careful with that. There's no way to store it on the figure's belt either, of which is a little bit of a shame, but I'd imagine including a peg would just be way too big on that thing. So yeah, still a nice inclusion that they've put that in though. There's a nice little addition for a hilt if you did want a more vanilla displayed Yoda. It is worth noting in terms of the walking stick actually, because the walking stick does change throughout the films if I'm not mistaken, compared to the prequel and original trilogy. This one actually has the sort of ball joint handle, and that works to great effect because you can really just pop that in his hand. Because it's, you know, a ball, it acts almost like a ball joint, so you can really display it in different ways, like Yoda's pointing at something with it. Just really, really cool. And I've dropped it, and hopefully I haven't lost it. Ah, we good. We got it. Sweet. Teeny tiny accessories are the bane of my life, but that's very, very cool. Now, the other additional accessory that he comes with is an interchangeable head. So this one's quite a happy Yoda, it's safe to say, but you can change it to a more Revenge of the Sith, I'm gonna get you Darth Sidious look. It's a little bit tough to pop on. So there is Yoda with his more sinister, angry looking face, more determined, of which is absolutely badass. This is going to accompany that Darth Sidious figure, of which I have reviewed. You can check that review out up there. But this is going to accompany that absolutely perfectly. I think that head sculpt is really an easy selling point for this guy. But Hasbro didn't just stop there. Oh no. They included his council chair. So I thought when they initially teased this, didn't show any pictures of it, but they said that they were going to be making this 2-pack. I thought it was going to be his little hover chair that we see in, I think it's Attack of the Clones. No, it wasn't that. It was actually his council chair. That's cool. I'm fine with that. I think this is a really nice, bulky display feature and certainly adds to the value for money because, you know, I think Hasbro appreciates this guy's that small. It would be a bit cheeky just packing him in on his own with Gree, so they did have to add a bit more plastic for your buck, and it comes in the form of this chair. I think this was a really nice touch. It's not often we get chairs in the Black series, and when we do get it, there's a weird feeling of high-endness about it. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me, because I do like a good sit-down, but I really like this. This is a nice inclusion, considering how small he is, and this is how prominently we see him. You know, in the prequels, he's kind of sat there meditating, thinking things over. So I really appreciate this chair. As basic in terms of its, you know, sculpt and paint application, I like it. I like it a lot. You know, you've just got the red for the actual leather, cushiony, seaty part. And then, of course, it's just grey all around. That funky design. Just really, really nice they've included that. It's very sneaky, Hasbro, but I like the cut of your jib. Just make it a little bit more easier to obtain this pack, and that would be nice. Because it would be a shame for people to miss out on this. The real selling point is Yoda, and he is just such a wonderful figure. We haven't even got into the articulation yet, and that just blows my tiny mind. He has a ball joint in the head, and that goes to the other head as well. So there's a ball joint, ball jointed shoulders, ball jointed elbows, ball jointed wrists, swivel in the torso. He has ball jointed hips, ball joints in the knees, and I believe there are ball joints in the ankles, although they are very subtle just due to how small they are. And I think there's also rocker joints in there as well. So you can get this guy in some absolutely fantastic poses, of which is what you really, really want from a prequel era Yoda, because prequel era Yoda, he's jumping off the walls when he's doing fight scenes, and then when he's sat down, you can actually do that. You can actually have him sat quite correctly in this seat. I'm really, really impressed with this multi-figure pack. Certainly, they could have done some additions, particularly with Commander Gree, that would have just elevated it that further for my mileage. and for nostalgia bait's sake. But this is nice. It's always nice to get some additional clone troopers for cannon fodder, and pairing them with iconic Jedi Masters such as Yoda is such a brilliant concept, and I really look forward to seeing what Hasbro does in the future, because I really do hope they continue this Clones of the Republic 2-pack line throughout 2025. I know Hasbro have absolutely nailed it this year, and Yoda is a textbook example to that. How they're pushing the limits in terms of what you can do with figures at a mass-produced scale. The sculpting and detailing is just wonderful, and I've had so much fun playing with these figures. If you can get your hands on it, definitely do so. But please, really have to stress, don't submit to scalper prices. I really hope Hasbro produce more of this, or there's some hidden somewhere waiting to be listed. But this multi-figure pack is a real treat, and I highly, highly recommend it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Have you picked this 2-pack up? What do you think? Sound off in the comments down below. And while this is me, Daniel East 1000, sign out. Thank you very much for watching.